Welcome back, my dear students of class 9th. And my dear students, today topic is the why do we fall ill. My dear student, in this chapter you will study about the health and diseases. Health and diseases, that the detailed study that you will done in this digital video, and you will be able to know after the completion of this chapter about the diseases, treatment, and about the good health, how a person can get the good health. That everything will be known to you after this chapter. So my dear students, you must be aware about the human body. The human body is performing in different way. A human body is having digestive system, human body is having the respiratory system, human body is having the excretory system, blood vascular system, and so many systems are there. And if any system is functioning properly, then there will be no problem of health of that particular system. Means all the organs of a particular system, like digestive system, is functioning properly, digestive glands, digestive juices glands secreting the digestive enzyme, and food is getting digested, and there will be no problem to a person. But my dear student, if any system, like suppose respiratory system, the function of the respiratory system is to breathe the air, is to intake the air and exhale the air, and if any problem is coming inside this respiratory system, then there may be the bad health problem of that particular person. Therefore, my dear students, while studying this chapter, why it will fall in, first of all, you have to know about the health, and health which is related, directly related with the different types of the disease. My dear students, the earliest definition of the health was the absence of disease. But the WHO, World Health Organization, has stated that the complete physical, mental and social well-being of a person is called health. Means there will be no any discomfort of the there will be no any discomfort physically, mentally, or socially. Then that person will be called as healthy person. So health can be defined as the well-being of the physical, mental, and social status of a person is called health. So dear students, for good physical health, a person should take the proper diet, person should involve into the physical activity, so that his biological exercises has to be done in the body. The person is having the good mental health, and for good mental health that is required, that the balance between the individual and the surrounding world. If a person is maintaining balance in between the individual and the surrounding world, then that person will be called having the good mental status, good mental health. As well as if a person is having the social equality and social harmony, that has to be quantified, and the quality, then it is called as the good social health. That means if a person is fit physically, mentally, and socially, then that will be called the healthy person. My dear students, there are certain things that are related to the health, and the main important thing is that the community health and personal health. My dear student, if a person get disturbed physically, mentally, and socially, then that person will be called unhealthy person. if a person is fit mentally, socially and physically, then that person will be called healthy person. But as far as community is concerned, as far as this community is concerned, the total health of the community where a person is living, that is depending upon the economic condition, economy of that particular society, that particular community, social equality, and the public health services So these are the factors which are responsible for the good health of a community. My dear students, you have to understand the difference between the personal health of a person, that is directly linked with the community health where that particular person is living, and that community health is dependent upon the economy of that community, social harmony and public health services. If all three things are there, that community will be called as the healthy community. And dear students, if an individual is physically, mentally and socially fit, then that person will be called healthy. So there are certain differences about the physical, mental and social well-being of a person that decides the good health of a person, both physically, mentally and socially. While the community, the factors responsible for the community health, that is the economy of that community, and that is the social equality, public health services. So there are several examples of the good economic conditions of a person and social equality. Several examples are there in our society. Public health services like ambulance and hospitals, etc. If all these things are there, then the community will be healthy. And if a community will be healthy, then the person will be definitely healthy. So my dear students, this is about the health. Primary health care, secondary health care and tertiary health care. There are other health services are like primary, secondary and tertiary. So this primary is called villages health workers. Secondary, that is the small hospitals. Tertiary means big hospitals, specialty hospitals, colleges, university, universities, etc. Medical college, medical universities, etc. that provide the public health services. So therefore, dear students, you have to understand about the health individually of a person as well as the community health, which is depending upon the best economic condition, social equality and this public health services. My dear students, the conditions which are necessary for the good health, that you have to know. And a person, if person is taking good nutrition, if a person is taking good nutrition, then there will be no problem of any health in that person. So the factors responsible, that is good nutrition. That is good nutrition. Physical exercises. Physical exercises. Physical exercises. Clean water. Clean water and air. Clean water and air. Proper habits and hygiene. Proper habits. Proper habits and hygiene. Good hygiene. Good hygienic conditions. So these are the important factors that are responsible for the good health of a person. My dear students, you have to be well aware about a healthy person and a disease-free person. My dear students, a disease-free person is a person which don't have any disease. But a healthy person, it is not necessary that all the healthy persons are not able to suffer with any disease. There will be the disease-free society, disease-free person and healthy person. So two things are different. My dear students, the physical, mental and social well-being is called the good health of a person, but it is not necessary that person cannot be diseased. So disease can be defined as, now let us see about the disease. Diseases. Diseases can be defined as any metabolic disorder inside the body of the human is called disease. Any metabolic disorder of the human body, any metabolic disorder of the human body inside it is called disease. And that metabolic disorder is due to the different factors. The factors may be the pathogenic, may be the deficiency, may be the extra taking of any food, and that may be the other reasons which may cause the disease in a community and to a person. So let us segregate the health of a person, that is personal and that is community at the community level. So let us differentiate between the health and disease, that if a person is physically fit, mentally fit and socially fit, that person will be called healthy. If a community is economically strong, having the social equality and having the public health care services, then that community will be called healthy community. But it is not necessary that community and that person will not have any kind of disease. Therefore, my dear student, disease is the metabolic disorder inside the human body which is existing, that is called the disease. So you have to clarify very clearly the disease and the health. Very significantly, you have to clarify the disease is something different from the health. My dear students, let us talk about the sign and symptoms of the diseases. My dear students, if a person is having the high temperature, high temperature of its body, that will be called fever. If a person is coughing, then that will be called the bronchitis. Therefore, my dear students, these are the sign. Sign is, that is the high temperature or coughing. Sign means which is expressing by the body of a person. That is called sign, and the result of that expression is called symptom. Therefore, let it know these are the sign and these are the symptoms. So, sign and symptoms of the disease are like this. That if the person is having high temperature, that will be the sign, and that high temperature results the fever, results the pyrexia. In medical word it is called pyrexia. So this condition of pyrexia, fever, is called symptom. So let it identify about the sign and symptom of diseases, and so that you will be able to understand the concept of the sign and symptom in the diseases. My dear students, further let us know about the causes of the diseases, and as I discuss here, causes due to the first level cause, contributory cause, and third level cause. Dear students, the causes may be the pathogenic, deficiency, extra food taking. So these are the causes of diseases. And now after the discussing this whole, in the introductory part, we will be able to discuss the classification of these diseases. My dear students, now let us classify the diseases in the separate topic, and by knowing the classification of diseases, you will be able to learn more and more in this topic. So now let it classify, and as far as classification of the disease is concerned, it is depend upon the severity of the diseases, it is depend upon the types of the diseases, it is depend upon the conditions of the diseases. Therefore, let it classify diseases. Dear students, these diseases get classified into two parts. Get classified into two parts. Number one, that is acute, and number two, that is chronic. So diseases are of two types: acute diseases and chronic diseases. Dear students, the acute diseases are first having the short span of time. That is having the short span of time, while these chronic diseases are having the long span of time. So on the basis of the time period of the diseases, they get classified into the two groups: acute and chronic diseases. Dear students, acute diseases are, the example of the acute diseases are fever, influenza, dysentery, diarrhea, and so many diseases are having the short span of time, and they are called as the acute diseases. My dear students, come to the chronic diseases, and the chronic diseases are further classified as the congenital and acquired diseases. So acute and chronic diseases are, as far as the time is concerned, time span is concerned, and now there are certain other bases of the classification of the disease, and that is like the congenital and acquired diseases. So this is the number one basis. Base number one. Base number one. That is on the basis of time. So on the basis of time is these are two types, acute and chronic, and the chronic diseases are like cancer, AIDS, diabetes, arthritis, etc. are called as the chronic diseases. Now come to the base number 2, that is the diseases are of two types, as far as if they are by birth or they are acquired. So on the nature of the disease, base 2, that is the nature. On the basis of the nature of the diseases, these are of two types. Number one, congenital, and number two, that is the acquired. So congenital and acquired diseases are there on the basis of the nature of the diseases. My dear students, congenital diseases are by birth, while acquired diseases are acquired in the lifespan of human due to the deficiency of food, due to the infections of the different types of pathogens, and due to the other conditions. So my dear students, these are the short about this classification of the diseases. We will meet in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a good day.